All right, so this is the beginning of, my YouTube journey, right, on this next level channel here. And as you guys can see, the first four videos that I made didn't even have anything, partaking to this organized stalking program or being a targeted individual. Lose weight fast, tools for weight loss, secret to weight loss. Okay, so I had, at that time, it was a very dark time for me. They were revving up my targeting, and I had no idea what targeting was. Like, I didn't even know what this program was. I didn't know anything about it. And I was working a job at the time where it was severe workplace mobbing going on. I mean, I have experienced workplace mobbing, I would say, maybe on 95% of the jobs that I've ever worked in my life. I didn't know what it was, but this specific job here, it was set up for me to go there, and it was complete, utter, freaking hell. It was disgrace. Like, it was next level. Let's just say that, right? So, working there, I worked there for about, I think, maybe 6 to 8 months. I don't know. And the attacks that I had to endure through every day going there was just out of this world. And I didn't want to, in my mind, I said, man, there's got to be another way that I could, you know, generate income and make things happen for me, man, because I'm not one of those people who, have been financially well off, or, has ever been in a position where I could say, I was okay financially. Like, they have always targeted my finances, my education, my relationships, even with family, friends, well, so-called friends. It was all controlled, but that's a whole nother, video. So I made these videos here because of the extreme. I actually made the channel because of the extreme workplace mobbing that I was going through at the time. And I saw this movie where these guys were actually making money online. And actually, what I was doing at my job, I was working with computers and basically, online, and that's a whole nother, whole nother topic here. I'm getting off topic, but I made these videos here because I was doing research of how I could, work online and do some things online, and I found this website, and I wanted to do something like, it's tons of schemes, like it's tons of scams online, right? Tons of get rich quick schemes, and you want to make money online, you can do this and that and blah blah blah. But I found this site that it seemed like it was legit to me, and I made a conscious decision, like, whatever I do online, like, I don't want to scam people, like, I don't want to. It's a lot of pyramid schemes, and pay this money, and get other people to sign up to you, and they pay, and that's how you get paid. I didn't want to do any Ponzi schemes or anything like that. I wanted to actually help people. So I found this site, and they were selling like diet plans and health things that could help, obese people lose weight. And that's where these first four videos came from. Okay, so at the same time, I didn't understand a lot about YouTube. I didn't understand how it worked, and I didn't understand that I had 5G at the time. This was what, 2000, 2016, I think, 2017. I don't know. I'm thinking it was 2016. If you guys click on the videos, you can actually see the date that I did post these videos. But yeah, man, I didn't know that I was being monitored and surveillanced and and controlled and zapped, and I didn't know that my electronics was hacked. And every attempt that I made to do, to bring some financial stability into my life, that there were a team of freaking agents that was set there to make sure that that didn't happen. These videos were shadow banned, and I actually, at the same time, like, I didn't understand how to get those videos out to the forefront. But then I learned that there were millions of people who were promoting the same things, and, which kind of made it extra difficult for me to get these videos seen, for me to make anything happen from them. And I didn't make absolutely not 1 cent off of my attempts to, try to make something happen for me. Now, fast forward to the first targeted video. Well, I don't want to say targeted video, but the first video that I, made talking about my, situation when I found out, because I found out about the program after, the floor shattered from underneath me once again. And, I ended up in a whole nother town, and, that's a whole nother, a whole nother story. But I ended up in a whole nother place, and I found out that there was, a such thing as this organized stalking program and gang stalking, and, directed energy weapons. I ended up in a whole nother town. I want to say like maybe an hour and a half away from where I was previously living, where I made these 4 videos here. And I quickly got a job and tried to integrate into the situation where I was and make the best out of the situation. But then it started happening again on the job, and it slowly picked up. I started working at this factory, and the people in the factory, like, it started off cool, like the first week and a half, and then the second, I don't know, maybe like the second or third week going into it, I started to notice, some things going on there, and then people whispering things and talking about me and the managers, and I started seeing the same thing happening at this job, and I'm like, man, these people don't know nothing about me. They don't know. So I knew something was going on. The gang stalking started really bad. Like, people following me around, and and I went through that whole summer of 2007, actually winter and summer, like totally isolated and alone, just about. And I found out about the program, and I didn't start posting right away. Like, I started watching other people's videos, and I was locked in, and watching a whole bunch of people's videos. And the thing that I didn't understand about the community, like, I believed everything that I saw. I believed it. Like, I didn't understand that they use that, like, how they use this so-called community as another tactic and another aspect of the targeting. I didn't understand it, but I locked in for, I don't even know, man, like every day. Like, I was watching so many videos, and like, I felt connection to these people who said they were going through things, and and I'll talk about that on another clip. But right now, I just wanted to get into my journey with the YouTube. Okay, so as you can see, this is the first video here that I did. Are you targeted? All right, Next Level Speaks, and I was a freaking mess on that video. I was scared. I didn't know, what to say, or, because it's been so much. Like, my situation is not. I can't say the targeting started 2 months ago, or 3 years ago it started, or 10 years ago it started. No, that's not the case for me. This has always been happening, you know, and I just didn't realize it. And it took amount of time for me to realize, you know, to keep players involved and how I can't even say to keep players involved, but just how everything has been controlled around me, and you know, even my mind, you know, has been controlled. But as you can see, this was the first video that I made, and you know, right away I thought when I made this video, um, man, my targeting is gonna get worse. You know, like I had a slew of emotions like going through me. I didn't know, and just due to me making these videos, you know, I thought that, and then I got inspired to start making music again, you know, because that music has been a real big love in my life. It's something that I would love to do, and got inspired to do that again and started using that to speak out against different you know, situations that I was going through. And as you can see, I didn't really get too many views at first on my channel, but you know, on later videos when my channel picked up on the views, like I would repost these videos at the end. Like you can leave end cards if people understand how to do that, and that's where people started to click back and watch these. So you can see, you know, some views, 387 views here on the first video, 437. I was had an incident at the store where it was straight street theater. That's what should be the name of this, street theater at the store, not gang stalking at the store. But I didn't know. I didn't fully, and I still don't fully real understand. And that's the thing about this thing. Like, it's so tricky, you know, when you think you know, and you know, little time goes by and you think you have an understanding of what's going on and who was doing what, and you really don't at the end of the day. But you can see, guys, that you know, some of these views, 66 views, this has got 2,000 views. I made this, like if you go to my channel, this would be the video here. Return of the Targeted was a song that I made, and was just, you know, me paying homage to the people that I watched early on, like from me finding out about, you know, this whole program, and felt like I needed to do something to pay homage to those people. And some of those people are passed away and not even here anymore, and some of those people on the video, I believe, like I was duped, you know, like, but that's a whole nother subject here. But so as I begin to post, you know, like I got comments in the video. Now keep in mind, I was severely isolated, you know, at that time, which I still am, you know, and I really didn't have you know, a support system, or you know, anybody that I could really trust, that I could say who was, you know, had my best interest in hand and was really you know, who loved me unconditionally. Like, that wasn't the case for me, you know, like everything was controlled. Like, I didn't know that at the time. Everything, not just you know, what happened on YouTube. I'm talking about my real life. So when I started posting these videos and making these videos, and you know, people would come on in the comments, which I'm gonna show some comments and I'm gonna show some of that stuff. I started making these videos, and people would come on in the comments and they would say, "Oh, this is a great video," or "You did a great job," and such and such. Like, I didn't understand what was happening in that moment, you know. I believe that the TI community was a place where, you know, everybody was truthful about their experiences, and everybody was actually going through what they said that they were going through, you know. And this was a big mistake that I made because, you know, they know, like, honestly, they know when you are um, extremely isolated, and then, you know, you come on a platform talking about this stuff. It's like, you know, they have people, some people say chatterbots, and, you know, and which is um, a computer program that will just type in comments and just say things. And um, but they actually have people who are sent to get in your comments and, you know, form I want to say relationship, maybe. Yeah, I mean, if it goes that far, to form a connection, to form a bond with you. And, you know, I was just, you know, kind of taken back by, you know, the um, response that I was getting from the videos, and it felt therapeutic at the time. Like it, you know, and there was things that I saw online that people go through or people see every day. I didn't realize how infiltrated the, you know, this community is. And it's not, I gotta stop saying that community, because I honestly don't even feel like it's a real community, honestly. um you know, it's just a situation where you know, it's put in place, people are put in place to further the psyop, you know, which is a psychological operation. um you know, I met people, well, at this point, you know, at this point in time, I hadn't met any real TIs in real life that I, you know, but I had talked to a lot of people um on the phone. um some of those people who are deceased and no longer here, you know, some people that I formed um bond with. And you know, and some of those people I thought were my friends, you know. And like, I opened up to them and talked about a lot of things, and that those connections, like, I got burned on those connections, almost all of them. I'm gonna be straight up. um and it took, you know, some of those situations, it manifested like right away. You know, I would say from a day to maybe a couple of weeks, where, you know, somebody would be cool at first, and then they start doing perpy things and saying perpy things, and, you know, then it would fizzle away. And then other situations, I form a bond with people, and they just ghost you. Excuse me. They just, you know, 1 minute you like best friends, and the next minute the communication is over with, and, you know, which is a part of the psyop again, you know. And I'm gonna go into you know, this is 19 minutes in already. I'm gonna go into some of these comments here, and because it's another thing that I noticed was that like, you know, I've been posting for, I want to say, I don't know, my first video here was 2 years ago. And another thing that I noticed, that with this whole, you know, with the mistakes that I made, was um just like, not believing so much of the psyop, you know what I mean? And which kind of took me for a run. And it came in like different intervals, like the people who were watching my videos earlier on and leaving comments, and the people that I connected to and connected with, they slowly, I don't know, slowly but surely fizzled away, at different points, like as you can see here, let's see, 2 years ago, I started getting ideas to do things. I'm like, man, we need to come together. We need to bring the TI community together, and that was how I felt, we could, combat against this thing, us all come together. I didn't understand what was happening in that moment. And, I don't feel the same way now, for some odd reasons. I will get into that later on in the video. I'm probably going to have to make a series out of this because it's really getting long here. But I started a live stream event that I know people don't know about this, but it was very, well, some people do, some people don't. It was very spiritual, man. And I just wanted to do something different. And I had all this time that I was just sitting around, and I wanted to make the best out of the time. But as the time passed and the more content that I made, I noticed that the people who were around, because they weren't physically around me at that point, but the people that I had connections with at the time fizzled out. And then there was a whole another slew of people and comments and people who came around and people that I connected with. And some of these people I ended up meeting in real life. Some of these people, things went left. Things went sour, man. And the thing that I wanted to talk about, where I feel like I made major mistakes is, some of these people, they're really good, man. They're really good at what they do. They are, good at extracting information from you, even though, the powers that be who are responsible for this, for my situation, I can't speak on anybody. Like, they have been monitoring me for damn near my whole life, you know, and have been controlling me to do things and crumbling things around me, and my interactions and my things that I want to do with my life. And they've been pulling the plug off of that even since a kid. Like, I had goals and aspirations and things that I was seriously serious about as a kid, and those doors got slammed in my face even as a kid, growing up, and a lot of things was happening. But so I was just trying to be creative and do things here with my channel to bring TIs together, and real TIs actually. And that's the thing, like, I didn't understand that the ratio to real people that's really going through this to the people that is actually put in place to throw you off, to further your targeting, in whatever manner they set fit to do. And these people are compensated for that, compensated for talking to you on the phone, or to reaching out and getting a connection with you. And you know, I've had some very deep moments, with some of these people that I really felt that were, going through what I'm going through and related to what I was going through, and it wasn't like that at all. Now I can see that now. Um, and a lot of times, where I went wrong is, once when you talk to somebody every day, for upward of, 6 months, 3 months to a year, and, you really feel a connection with these people, when they're professing to be going through what you're going through, and, it's relatable, it's a freaking psyop. You know what I mean? They use that against you. And a lot of times, I divulged in, conversations where, I felt like, people were my friends, and I might have said things to them, that was discussed with other people in confidentiality, just thinking like, this is my friend, this is my brother, we're going to keep this between us, and not even in a demeanor to put anybody down or anything, but just to discuss certain things, right? Because this is like, it's mind blowing, like it's crazy, the amount of stuff that I heard, and things that conversations I had with people, and like, you see something that, like, I don't know, you see something at work, like, this is just like regular situation. You see something happen, and you talk to somebody you consider a friend, and you say, man, this stuff happened at work, or such and such, or everybody has done this, like, you've had a conversation with somebody, and if anybody had said, next, don't, I want to keep this between me and you, let's just keep it like that, and you promise somebody, hey, I'm not going to say nothing, but that's happened to everyone, I'm not going to tell anybody, and then you have somebody that you feel close with, where you created a I don't know, like a bond, a friendship or something, and you confide in that person, and you're like, man, you want to hear something, like, and then you say the same thing to them, you're like, man, don't say anything, but such and such said this happened, or such and such, you know what I mean? And then things get going, and not even realizing that it's all fake, some of it, or a lot of it, 90% of it was all freaking cap, all propaganda, and it gets thrown around, and you get made out to be the chatty patty, right? The chatterbox, which, I gotta take responsibility, like, a lot of, um, like, I fell for it, like, I fell for this. I fell for a lot of these freaking psyops, and because this stuff is tricky, like, it's really tricky. It really is. So let me, I just want to, I'm going to go into some comments and just show how things kind of morphed in, where I made some very detrimental mistakes. And, I'm going to keep this thing going. Let's keep it going.